What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to take you through a wonderful, magical ride as we review the movie Cats. I'm your host, Satan.
And I'm dead inside.
And we just had a journey, honestly. Like, this was a life-changing experience. As soon as I saw the trailer in December for the live-action Cats movie, like, I just knew that that's where my life needed to go.
You know, have you ever thought about, like, if there was one movie that you can just erase from your memory? Like, have you ever thought about that sort of thing? Like, if there was a movie that you can erase from your memory, if you had that choice?
Never.
I would choose Cats.
So, Jared, why do you want to erase this movie from your memory?
It is one of the most worst movies I've...
The most worst?
One of the most worst.
The most worst.
It's one of the worst movies I have ever seen. It's... The music production was awful. It felt like it was...
Oh, wait, you didn't like... Okay.
Well, as far as the actual production quality, like the how everything was mixed, how the instruments sounded, the orchestra, it was really bad. Everything, sometimes the orchestra was louder than the actual people singing, and also most of the songs were garbage.
Oh my. Okay, so we're gonna backtrack a little bit. So this is not going to be spoiler free. We are gonna go into all the details of this. If you are someone out there who is genuinely looking for a spoiler-free review of Cats, the live-action movie, you're my kind of person, but this is not your kind of video. So the movie starts off with this New York-style city. I don't know. Jerry, have you ever seen the original Cats before? Do you know anything about the original production?
All I know that it exists.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before.
I'm actually a big fan of musical theater, but I never got around to seeing Cats before. Definitely going to do that now. But, so we're not going to be comparing this with the original production. This is just going to be judged solely on its own merits, just bearing that in mind. So as I was saying, it opens up with this New York-style city, and you see, like, all, like, these different cats around the city converging onto this one central location, and there's a car driving simultaneously through this.
You didn't describe how hideous the cats looked.
We're getting... Listen.
Okay, like, when you first see that, your mind doesn't register as cats. It registers as...
Beauty.
As, not beauty.
Beauty.
As, like, abomination in the uncanny valley.
You know, they called Stitch an abomination, too.
But this is a visual abomination.
Okay, so, like, the movie opens up with, you know, all these cats converging onto one central location, and there's a car driving, and that's when you realize that the cats are at scale with humans. So, like, they like, CGI'd this huge-ass city, and, you know, you see, like, the silhouettes or the shadows of humans, but you never, like, actually see humans. But, you know, you can tell that they made it so the actors who are the cats are, like, supposed to be the size of actual cats. I was not expecting that. But then you see this lady throw a cat out the window and into, like, a junkyard or something. And then that's when the initiation starts. Jared, you have some thoughts on what happens next. Would you like to describe what happens next?
I think the entire movie is just a cult initiation.
So the cat gets thrown out and, like, out of the car, and then all these other cats start sniffing the bag, and then, oh my gosh, she's a beautiful cat that pops out of the bag, and then they start singing, and that is the cult initiation that you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and just the way that the CGI moves is very uncomforting. They move like jelly.
They're they're supposed to be cats. They're like cats are very like they move like that.
But it seriously doesn't even look like how a cat would move. It just looks it looks bad. It looks really, really bad.
I love it. Okay, so this opening scene was really, really strange, and that's why I love it. It's like this, like the whole movie can be described as this overblown theatrical CGI production, and like they start singing about cats and their names, and you know you're waiting for the song to end so like people can talk and start explaining what's going on. That doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, all the information about these characters and the story is completely through song. There may have been like literally 3 lines of spoken dialogue throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
Do you want to So like
I mean, I don't really have a problem with that kind of storytelling where like the actual musical, because it is a musical, and like the musical part of it drives the story. I don't like how they executed it.
Did you follow along with like the story being told? Like, do you know what happened and like why things were happening? And
that's another thing too. Like, it felt like that they didn't really even convey it well. It was hard to understand. Like all I really got was that they're having this whole that all these cats are like once a year they throw this whole like ball thing, this like where different cats will audition, and there'll be like one granny cat who decides who gets to be quote unquote reborn.
Right. So it's like it's the cat cult. That's basically the story where like, you know, this new cat is introduced to the cult, and they basically tell her that through the like they're like, oh, they're like asking what her story is and why she's there, and then another song happens almost immediately after explaining that that they have this grand ball, and like they choose one cat every year to be reborn based off of thinly defined standards, like basically whoever is the goodest of them all, whoever is the purest soul of all these cats.
I thought it was just like a talent show.
No, they said that it was like you had to someone who deserved a second life.
Oh.
Yeah. And so almost the entire movie is just showcasing all the different cats and their different talents and why they want to be reborn into a new life, and you know who deserves it the most. And you're following our main cat, who's the one that was thrown out of the bag, Victoria. Why she is there? Why is she there?
What do you mean, like, why is she there? Like, in the movie?
Yeah, like...
She kind of just, like, it feels like they just have her there and she just stares at things.
Stare.
They just cut away the shot. They just cut away the shots while some other character is singing, and she just stares. Like, she doesn't really have any character at all.
Yeah, no, like, I believe that she is meant to be, like, the audience stand-in. This is, like, she's representing the audience watching these cats and, like, witnessing this new world that she's never seen before. And I don't have a problem with that kind of, what would you call it? Like, that kind of mechanism being used to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't really see it ever used effectively too often.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we are already the audience watching this movie. We don't need to watch someone watch the movie with us.
Exactly. Yeah. The one thing I also didn't get is, like, they introduced that sort of, like, the one concept that we're going to talk about, like, towards the end. Like, the
rebirth thing? Or?
Not the rebirth, the one cat that nobody likes. Not the villain, but the other.
Oh, yes.
I never understood why I don't know if I didn't hear it in the lyric or something, but like I don't know why they don't like.
They did sing about. So he's talking about Grisabella. She is a cat that's going to be introduced like a quarter of the way through the movie, if not sooner.
I'm pretty sure it's like right after the first, maybe like, or maybe not right after the first song.
Not after the first song, but after the first new cat. So basically, after Grisabella is introduced to the cat cult, you have this really suave and sexy playboy cat who comes in and he sings a number, and he's mesmerizing all the lady cats with his big ol' singing voice.
Mm-hmm.
And just that, I don't even know, I don't have the words. I don't, just like, he's just singing about how he's a ladies' man and how he's so smooth, and how they're all drinking milk at the cat bar, the milk bar.
That made me very uncomfortable.
I wish you guys could have seen his face throughout the entire movie. He's just looking like he's wishing for death, and I am just ecstatic throughout the entire thing. Anyway, so yeah, we get to that cat, and he's singing his lady man song, and then he comes out of the bar, and he sees this poor lady cat, and he hisses at her and runs away, and then the new girl cat looks at her like, bro, why are you being a fucking dick to a homeless lady?
Mm-hmm.
But then everyone else is being a dick to the homeless lady, so there's a story here. What we come to find out is that Grisabella, who sings the most iconic song of this musical, she used to be all hot shit. She used to be the glamour cat. And, you know, she was basically a dick to everyone because she was so glamorous. And, you know, she thought that she was going to be chosen by the cat cult leader, and she wasn't. So she had this fall from grace, and now everyone hates her and shuns her for it. Because she was a dick to them, and then she didn't even win.
Because she just felt like she was just the shit?
Yeah, because she thought that she was the shit. She was the glamour cat. She thought she was going to win the fucking cult ritual thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she didn't. And so, like, for all of her bravado and for all of her, like, you know, being shitty to everyone, she just lost. Mm-hmm. And so then that somehow gave everyone the right to shun her and let her be homeless and cry herself to sleep every night.
Mm-hmm. And then we also have the villain cat who was introduced early in the movie.
Yeah, no, that, like, he was introduced sometime...
I think it was right after the first song.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, you're right, yeah. So, Makavity, right? So Makavity hits the scene, and he's all mysterious and spooky with his green eyes just peering into your soul. And fucking Victoria New Girl Cat is just like, oh, what are you about? And like, so this is one of the things that I wrote down about the movie. So in the first song, it's very clear that, like, she's new. She doesn't know these songs that all these cats are just singing in unison, but you can, like, see her kind of, like, follow people's lead and kind of, like, pick up lyric. It's very clear that she's just singing these lyrics as they're being sung. Like, she doesn't know it. So that, to me, is like, okay, you're really quick to catch up on things. But when the fucking green-eyed, spooky, like, villain cat appears from the dust, and all these other cats are running away, she's just like, oh, wait, guys, what are you doing? Where are we going? Who is that? I will walk up to him now.
That, like, happens, like, 3 times in the movie where everyone runs away, and then like, she's just doesn't know how to run. And she's, like, caught in the middle.
Yeah, she's like, oh, where are we running? Where are we going? Also, some of the cats wear shoes. I just thought that was worth noting. So, what did you think of him as a villain?
I mean, he only did, like, one bad thing and then just, like, gave up, kind of.
Well, he didn't give up. Like, well, we'll get to what he did.
It just
like,
didn't seem
plan.
like his whole thing really had any impact.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that just, like, happen, and they seem really bad. There was only one crisis that was given any weight to. So we'll get into that. So, Player Boy Cat sings his song, and then we're introduced to Grisabella, and we're shown why everyone hates her, and is really stupid, and then we see Rebel Wilson in all her glory.
Can we just skip over this part?
Why don't you want to give Rebel the time and the honor for which she deserves, Jared?
You know, can we just skip over this entire movie?
Listen, I think Rebel Wilson should have been the cat cult winner because she trained fucking mice and cockroaches. So like we said, every cat has like their own musical number, and they're supposed to showcase their personality and who they are and why they should win. Rebel Wilson wants to be reborn because she doesn't want to be a house cat anymore. So she fucking trains the mice and the cockroaches living in her house to sing musical theater.
I found it real uncomfortable. Like.
Wait a minute.
When the part,
Wait. I just remember Rebel Wilson was first, and then Sexy Cat Dude happened.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm positive.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Rebel Wilson, she took the initiative, she took the hustle to train these mice and these cockroaches, okay? She deserves her spotlight.
I found it really uncomfortable when she ate the cockroaches. When all the cats started eating the cockroaches.
So that was the uncomfortable part for you? It wasn't when she, like, lifted her leg like a cat and started scratching her pussy?
This whole movie has a lot of uncomfortable
Which,
parts.
like, by the way, that happens a lot. Like, not excessively, but that happens enough. Where, like, these cats are just, like, raising their legs and it's, like, a dance move, but also it's just, like, meant to be, like, a weird, like, cat cleaning themselves movement.
Yeah.
I love it. And then we get introduced to the next cat, the tuxedo cat, James Corden. Who's just saying about how he's a fat, rich cat. And that's when we start getting into more of the villain stuff. And we start to see Macavity's plans unfolding. He starts kidnapping...
Catnapping. I'm so sorry.
I love it. He starts catnapping all the contestants. He kidnaps Rebel Wilson and James Corden and puts them on a boat.
That's his plan. He just puts them on a boat.
He just puts them on a boat. And when he looks at you menacingly. He's like, "You cannot be in my way."
Yeah. That's his plan. He just puts you on a boat and looks at you menacingly, and then goes away.
And goes away and leaves you with Grandpa Cat to tell you about the good old days. So, anyways, these two cats disappear, and everyone knows them, and they're all friends, and it's all good. But they go missing, and it's just like it's whatever. We got shit to do. Like, no one notices or cares that these cats are missing. Throughout the entire movie. Like, literally the entire movie, no one cares.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're introduced to more cats. Oh, I can't believe we didn't show... One of the cats from the beginning of the movie is this magician cat, the magical Mr. Mistopheles. And I think he's my favorite out of all of them. He's just this very shy, timid cat. He's not very good at magic, like stage magic. But he's just got a good heart. He wants to help old Victoria out through all of this. But then she's missing. Where did she go? Where did she go? Oh, she's with some cat burglars.
That too.
Yeah. And so these two cat burglars find her, and she just kind of follows them. She just that's just Victoria just going with the flow, just breaking into people's houses, and they have this whole like lavish musical number where they're just stealing rich people's shit, and then it's through the end of the musical number, they break a vase, the dog starts barking, you don't see the dog but he's coming, and then Victoria, she was wearing a necklace and it's stuck on a bedpost, and she's choking. What are we gonna do? Magical Mr. Mistopheles comes in, saves her, and we don't even get to see the dog design. I cannot tell you how badly I wanted to see this dog.
I think we've been saved.
No, Jared,
feel
they
like-
did the mice, they did the cockroaches, they did the cats. I need to see what the dog is.
I really think that we were saved since we didn't see the dog. I feel like that would have been like one of the worst sights.
Amazing. So that happened, and so Magical Mr. Mistopheles, he saves her, and you start to see like not like actual chemistry, but the kind of thing where like movies are telling you they're supposed to have chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that at all from it?
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no chemistry actually existed. And so we go further. And is that the point where they introduce the cult leader? Like, after... Like, they got back. Yes! Yeah, they got back. And then you have, like, this one, like, leader dude cat who's like, where have you guys been? And Mr. Mistopheles, you know, covered her for stealing, which, like, it's not established that it's wrong for her to steal, especially because she's just really down for it. Like, you know, she's like, whatever, I'm a cat, I'm gonna go inside this person's house. Like, you wouldn't think that the cats would care too much, but apparently they do, because Mr. Mistopheles had to cover for her. Anyways, and that's the point where they're like, we're glad you're here in time. Old Deuteronomy's gonna be here. And I'm thinking this is gonna be some Bible shit. Which I was half right, I was an old lady. Any thoughts?
No, not really.
You seemed like you had so much to say.
I mean, I pretty much said like a lot of my frustrations with the movie. Like this was like getting to the midway point of the movie where I just started just like falling asleep.
Yeah, I had to wake you up. Like, I don't know how you could fall asleep when you have this fabulous so they're like, oh, old Deuteronomy's gonna be here, and she turns out to be the cult leader, and they start singing about old Deuteronomy, and Jared's just asleep, and I'm just like, how are you falling asleep at this climactic moment of this old lady cat walking down the street?
Like, that second half was really, really a slog, to me, at least. It just didn't feel like anything was happening, and the musical numbers felt really dry. It just wasn't doing anything for me.
Okay, I can understand being, like, weirded out by the cats and the CGI, but, like, you really didn't like the music?
I really didn't like it. Like,
I loved the music.
And I usually like musical numbers, like, stuff from, like, just different stuff from musicals, but just, like, the way that they wrote it, and...
Like, was it too, like, eerie, or was it too...
It wasn't eerie, it was literally just, like, they didn't feel like none of the songs really stuck to me at all.
Okay, alright, fair.
And
I mean, your opinion's wrong, but fair.
And I don't know, I didn't really like any of them.
Anyways, so, at that point we have old Deuteronomy, and basically more cats sing. They, like, get into, like, the Egyptian hotel, and more cats and their stories are being introduced. They're starting to audition. They're starting to do their cat ritual.
And that's pretty much when they start doing, like, that crazy talent show sort of thing, where a lot of different cats are, like, doing their performance.
They did that tail thing. Do you remember?
Tail thing?
Yeah. So, like, before everyone started doing their talent show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, the cats they get on all fours, right? And you just see their tails go up like antennae and just kind of, like, vibrating as the moonlight is going over a hole in the roof, and, like, you're just, like, you're waiting for Satan to, like, cat Satan to emerge from the floorboards, and, like, it was a spiritual experience, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that was just another point where I was, like, about to go to sleep because it was, like, just, like, that very weird choreography associated with, in my opinion, very bad instrumentals. Like I said before, I just did not like their overall production.
Right.
It sounded like B-grade music production.
Here's the thing. Another reason why I really enjoyed this film, because it just looked like it was fun to make. Like, you could say whatever you want about the music and the production value or anything, but, like, if I'm watching a movie and it just seems like the actors and the just the performers of all kind, like everyone just had a fun time making it, then you instantly have my heart.
I honestly don't really. I mean, I kind of like those sort of movies where I feel like people are having fun. I did not see that.
No,
I did not see the actors having fun. Though that could just be because I just had really bad first impression of the movie, and I just like went straight to the negatives.
You were just like, you were checked out at that point.
I
You
was
just wanted
checked
to
out.
be
Like I knew. I was like, yeah, this is not my kind of movie.
So, yeah, we're getting through the talent show, which, by the way, there was like this railroad cat who did a tap dance number. Loved it. Amazing. Love that cat.
And then the one villain started kidnapping more of
Yeah,
the cats.
like as the cats were finishing their auditions to be reborn, Makavity was catnapping, and like Makavity has this ability to just kind of like appear and disappear, like as if he were a cloud of dust. And the whole movie, I was thinking like, oh my god, it'll be so cool to find out how he does that, and we find out by the last performer goes on and does their song, and he catnaps them, and they're like, oh, what's next? Spotlight. Taylor Swift on the moon. She comes down, she starts singing about Mr. Makavity doing his intro, and then, what's this dust everywhere? What could it's hitting, it's like, you know, it's brainwashing them, it's getting them high as fuck. What is it, Jared?
Catnip.
It's catnip. He's able to mind control people and kidnap people through a dust cloud of catnip.
Yep. And then he kidnaps the cult leader.
Yeah.
Grandma Cat.
Granny Cat, cult leader. And he's like, you will make... Well, here's the thing. First, he finishes his song. Like, he joins in on Taylor Swift's song. And, you know, he sings. Honestly, a good performance, mind you. It was a good, solid song. Jared.
And honestly, the vocal performances were pretty. I felt like they were on point. That's one thing I can give. Like I think as far as like their vocal chops for the cast, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's good. I agree.
That's something that I can agree on.
Yeah. And so Makavity finishes his song, and he's like, "Now you must pick who will be reborn." And she's like, "No, you're not getting picked, fucktard." And he's like, "But I am the only one left. You must pick me." And she's like, "No, fuck off. You don't have any soul." And he's like, "I have so much soul." And he like disappears in like, and then she's just gone. And then all the cats wake up from their catnip coma, being brainwashed. And they're like, where did the granny cult leader go? What are we gonna do? And what do they do when their cult leader just disappeared in a dust cloud of catnip?
They try to summon her again.
They try to summon her via the magical talents of the magical Mr. Mistopheles.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing.
I loved that, honestly. That was his moment. That was his time to shine. He didn't believe in himself. He was always a shy cat, but that was his time. So, Magic Mr. Mistopheles, you know, he sings his song, and all the cats are encouraging him to go up because he doesn't think he's going to be able to do this. He's a very bad magician. It's been proven throughout the entire movie. But then after singing the same fucking chorus 7 different times, then Granny cult leader appears behind them and joins in on the song, and they're like, "You did it, you're wonderful, you're amazing." Do you want to join in at any point? You want to like touch on any of these?
Oh yeah, he also didn't save any. He did not save any of the other cats that were captured.
Yes. Okay. So like we said, he was sending all the cats that they had kidnapped onto this boat, and then they're like, but like they don't notice, dude. They don't care at all. But then when Granny cult leader goes disappearing, then it's like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? We have to get her back. Oh no, guys, what are we gonna do? And we're depressed. And then they save her, and literally no one else. and they don't.
And they have to rescue, and they have to save themselves pretty much.
Yeah, they're their own hero. Okay, like they needed a hero. They were holding out for a hero till the morning light. And it didn't fucking happen. They saved themselves.
Yeah.
Which, mind you, one of the cats that were kidnapped was like Magical Mr. Mistopheles' like hero, is like his performance idol, and he didn't notice that he went missing. But anyways, it's fine. It's whatever. Like, no one even like at the end of the movie, they didn't even acknowledge it then. Like the cats who went missing, they weren't even like, "Hey, what the fuck, you guys?"
No, I think they did acknowledge it. Like they came back and then everybody was like hugging and stuff.
Well, they hugged them, but they were like, "Yo, you left me on a boat to die. What the fuck?"
Oh yeah, they didn't acknowledge that.
Yeah, they were just like, "Oh, we're so happy to see you. You've been gone for so long." Like it was okay, fine. Anyways, so Granny Cat came back, and Mr. Mistopheles Macavity, goodness, these names. Macavity was like, "I have been foiled. We must go back to get her." And then you just don't see him.
Yeah, we just don't see him until like the very end of the movie.
Yeah, so the movie,
and also like while all this is happening, there's that side plot with the other cat, with like the other homeless cat.
Yes, so they're not letting Grisabella in throughout the entire proceedings of this. But then because our protagonist, who you forget is the protagonist, sees her be sad outside, because she sees a homeless lady outside, she decides to be a decent cat being to her, and, brings her inside and lets her be a part of the stuff and lets her sing her song to audition, and Grisabella wins, which is the only justice in this movie. Seriously, okay, she was a bitch to you, fine. We're just gonna, shun her and let her be homeless and live in what is literally referred to as the wastelands. Because she was a bitch to you? That's some next level high school shit. But Grisabella won with her iconic song, and then she is literally lifted up in an air balloon that goes off into the sunset to be
sunrise.
Into the sunrise, I'm sorry. Into the sunrise to be reborn. What that is, where she's going, what we don't know. I'm pretty sure she just died.
I'm pretty sure too. That's honestly a pretty sad ending.
Obviously, it's supposed to be a metaphor for succeeding through struggle and through, society being turned against you and, having nothing, and you proceeded and you flew off into the sunrise. And that's what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then towards the end, the Granny Cat was talking to the addressing the audience, ourselves.
Yeah.
And so telling us how it made no sense at all.
Yeah. So Granny Cat, they do their final song, and then at the end of the final song, they zoom in on Granny Cat, and she looks to you and has this poem, this children's nursery rhyme almost, of how to respect cats and treat them well, and how to address cats. And yeah, breaking the fourth wall, looking at the screen, and I died because Senpai noticed me.
Yeah. Oh man, what a bad movie.
What an incredible movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I think that was us trying to explain cats in 40 minutes.
Yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts, Jared?
If you want to save your brain cells, I would not watch this movie.
And if you love just musicals gone wild and just this montage of insanity in the most ridiculous ways possible, and honestly still really good music, fucking don't at me, Jared, then this is the movie to see. Like, there is no breathing room in between. You really have to listen to the lyrics or look up the lyrics to know what's going on. But that's the case with a lot of classical musicals. And I just think it's a really fun ride. So let us know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.